Hi, everybody. Oh, we got a lot of folks that have joined already. I'm super excited to have you all this evening. We'll be getting started in just about 2 minutes. All right, we'll be getting started in just a minute now. I see we got a lot of folks joining in now. Hey, Camille, Ashley, my friend Billy out there in Las Vegas, who has amazing products. Tiffany Clay, Jahara here in Nashville. Drop it in the comments. Tell me where you all are tuning in from. Welcome, everybody. I'm super excited to have you all here this evening, and we'll be hopping in just about a minute or so. All right, Lisa, I see you got in. Fantastic. We got somebody, Marshall from Motown. All right. Pat Jones from Maryland, Atlanta in the building. A lot of my Nashville folks, Goodlettsville. Welcome, everybody. I'm excited to have you all. All right, and it is the top of the hour, so we're going to go ahead and hop on in. It's Thursday evening, and it has been a long week, so I want to be very respectful of you all's time this evening. So we're going to go ahead and hop on in. For those that don't know me, I am Danielle McGee. I'm the founder and CEO of Black Business Boom. Black Business Boom is a support system for Black-owned businesses, providing training and development, mentorship, and coaching to small Black-owned businesses throughout the United States. And I'm really excited to partner with organizations like Amazon and their Black Business Accelerator to provide amazing opportunities like this for Black business owners, including our cohorts that we offer free of charge, offering training for Black business owners in several markets. So let's jump into it while we are here this evening to talk about Amazon and their Black Business Accelerator. I am really excited to partner with this program and help get the word out because it's an amazing program. And since the beginning, since they were in pilot mode, we've been talking about just how much of an amazing program this is and getting the word out to all the Black business owners in our network. So I have a guest this evening, Celeste Donetto from Amazon. She's the lead over at the Strategic Partnerships division of the Amazon Black Business Accelerator. And she is going to be telling us how to get started with this accelerator, how to get your Black business selling on Amazon, what steps you need to take, and all of the amazing benefits that Amazon is giving specifically for Black business owners. So again, I'm really excited about this. I'm excited to have you all tuned in this evening. Please drop any questions that you have as we're going through the presentation in the comments, and I'll be sure to get to them before we wrap up this evening. So without further ado, I am going to go ahead and here's Celeste. I want to introduce you all to Celeste Donetto. Celeste is out in California, right, Celeste?
Hi, can you hear me all right?
I can.
Fantastic. I'm actually in Seattle, but yes, out on
Oh,
the West
okay.
Coast. That's correct.
Fantastic. I knew you were far away, but we're excited to have you here
Yeah.
with us, Celeste, this evening. Appreciate you for the partnership and bringing this information to all the Black business owners that are tuned in this evening. So I am going to be turning it over to Celeste. She will take it away from here. Again, if you have any questions, I'll jump back in toward the end and pull those questions from the chat. So whatever questions you have, drop them in the chat. Feel free to also share this if you are watching live on Facebook or on LinkedIn. Make sure you tag a product-based business owner and tell them to tune in and make sure they get this information on how they can become a seller on Amazon and get all the amazing benefits through the Amazon Black Business Accelerator. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and remove myself and let you take it away, Celeste. Thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Danielle, for that warm introduction. I'm presenting a slide deck, and hopefully it's visible. We tested a little bit, but if there's any issues, Danielle, I'll just listen in for a verbal shout out. But as Danielle mentioned, my name's Celeste Neto, and I'm with Amazon's Black Business Accelerator. We have this really great program that launched in June of 2021. As Danielle mentioned, we had been in a pilot phase at a point in 2020, leading up to our public launch in 2021, at which time we were able to kind of come out with all these great benefits too with our public launch. And so just a little bit of background about Amazon in general is there's a huge focus on the customers and what customers want. And as we know, many of us that are working at Amazon, we're also customers, and many of us realize that there's this need and want to have Black-owned business representation available for sale on Amazon for many different reasons. And I'm going to go into those details in a little bit. But a little bit more about Amazon. It's definitely one of the top most trusted and reputable companies that we can shop from. And so there are so many ways to sell on Amazon, either directly to the consumer or through Prime, which is a program that I'm sure many people here are familiar with. 200 plus million Prime members worldwide are able to shop offers that are fulfilled in the Prime network, which means you are shipping your product to Amazon fulfillment centers, and Amazon fulfillment centers then get that to customers and are kind of utilizing our not only our fulfillment network, but our return policy, the Prime badge that becomes visible, and things like that. I really love this part about, 75% of customers visit Amazon to discover new products and brands. One key highlight I want to call out about this is, when I'm behaving like an Amazon customer and I hear about a product, I search for it a lot of the time on the Amazon app to see like what the delivery promise is going to be like and what the pricing is going to be. And so when I talk to a lot of people thinking about starting to sell on Amazon, I think that's a really compelling kind of point about the way that customers in general just behave. A lot of the time we like to go to Amazon to see, is this available and can I get it in 1 to 2 days shipping? This is the Amazon flywheel, and this is something that is universally applicable throughout the company. But that being said, you can see this focus on sellers and selection and growth and traffic, as well as the customer experience in kind of like the inner funnel. Sellers are all BBA sellers. That is encompassing of all kinds of sellers that are small, medium, large size. But when you enroll in BBA, you become a seller on Amazon. So it's kind of cool to realize like you're this huge focal point in some ways about Amazon's total company mission. I love this statistic too. Nearly 60% of products sold in our store are from selling partners that are small and medium-sized businesses. a lot of the time, when you're a brand new business owner, it can seem daunting to think Amazon's this huge ecosystem. How do I stand out? Well, that is exactly what the BBA program helps with, particularly with the benefit of one-to-one account management for businesses that are, ready to get your product listed and live on Amazon. Um, so that is something that we're here as the accelerator program for Black-owned businesses to help guide you through, what to do when. There's things like bullet point details on your detail pages that you want to have up on your presence, on your Amazon listings before you start driving traffic and spending some of the ad credits the BBA program gives you. So that way you're making the most of your ad credits. You don't want to drive traffic to listings that might not be as comprehensive in details that you could give to your customers. So it's things like that that we're here to help with, and help you kind of demystify what becoming a small or medium-sized business on Amazon looks like. So a little bit about the Black Business Accelerator and our mission is we have invested a $150 million commitment over 4 years to help build sustainable growth for Black-owned businesses by providing access to capital, business guidance, mentorship, and marketing support. I'll kind of pause here and allow everybody to review the rest of this slide. And I just like to take a minute to let people digest this portion. Okay. The second portion of who particularly touches on what qualifies you to be in BBA. Your business needs to be 51% or more Black owned. And you just need to have a physical product that you want to sell on Amazon. And then that's kind of what gets you the criteria to sell on Amazon and enroll in BBA. There is a professional selling account that you want to register for. And once you have completed that, there's a little bit of identity verification and some questions about your business in the process of registering your professional selling account through Seller Central. You can then leverage one of the certifying bodies that we accept certifications from, and you upload that into your Seller Central account. Once it's validated as a current non-expired certification, that enrolls you in the program. The reasoning for the Black Business Accelerator kind of arising at the timing that it did is several reasons. I can tell you one of my compelling purposes for joining efforts to support Black-owned businesses was certainly in 2020 around the time of George Floyd's murder, and that really motivated me to become more educated and supportive of kind of trying to close these gaps in equity for Black entrepreneurs. And very similarly at Amazon, many of us kind of felt a little bit enlightened around that time and wanted to do something that was sustainable in the interest of helping Black-owned businesses. Okay, I kind of skipped through that previous slide because I felt like we went through that a little bit. And also there will be time for questions at the end. So I don't want anyone to feel like if there's anything I'm going through too fast, you don't have the opportunity to discuss. But here is a breakdown of the different BBA program benefits we offer. In particular, I really like these two that I'm going to touch on: the imaging services benefit and up to $3,000 in ad credits. I love the imaging service benefit, and that was something we actually had even in our pilot phase. And the reason being is we as like Amazon studios are able to take really, really good quality product photos for up to 50 unique product listings. And these images are zoomable. They kind of place your product in different angles. And, if you have maybe something like a dip, and I'm going to show you a slide that showcases that, they might like take a scoop with a spoon and lay it out, and it's just really pretty and perfect. The next call out that I made was $3,000 in advertising credits. That's really helpful because that gives you the ability to increase the discoverability of your product. And $3,000 in ad credits is huge, especially when you're getting started. Sometimes people test and learn with a small amount in their ad campaigns when they're newer. But once you kind of get a rhythm with one, nurturing your existing customers to discover your product on Amazon, and two, engaging with the demand of new customers that you might have. Well, you would if you went from not selling on Amazon to selling on Amazon. Is it helps get you there, and it helps increase your customer base. So this is a great example. The images here on top were done by our studios, and you can see like each of these relishes has some of the product in a spoon. And I really like that you can also make requests to the imaging team. There's some things that they can do and some things that they can't, but if there's any particular way that you want to request product be presented, they're able to accommodate some of those requests. The $500 credit is awarded upon enrolling in the program. So that's $500 that you are welcome to use at your discretion for startup costs. There are at times cash grants available for application through the BBA program. We have had several since launch. And as those arise, you are continued to be apprised of them. If you, do in fact join the program, you are invited to cash grant application opportunities. And then, of course, education, business education and coaching, that is supported by several different levers. One being the one-to-one account management. That is so key, so clutch. And what I also want to say about the one-on-one account management that you might get, started with is the people on the BBA team are super passionate about this cause and really want to see you succeed. And so they just kind of bring a really good energy to supporting their sellers that they're working with. And then we also have webinars that guide you along different stages of being successful on Amazon. Johnny Bailey is somebody that hosts many of them, and he recently did one on listing optimization and SEO. So that's kind of making sure your detail pages for your products look really good and optimized and present as much information as possible to your customers. You don't want to have empty detail pages. You want to give customers as much information as possible in a clear way. And that's definitely the type of information that you can get from working with directly the reps on our teams, as well as the webinars that we have. This is a really great quote from one of our sellers in BBA, Karen Blackwell. I love how she touches on a suite of benefits she's found success leveraging. She says, she's been able to enhance her listings with the imaging service, the ad credits, and even get some marketing placement. And then also calls out that her account manager's been a cheerleader, strategist, and just loves the experience in a few different ways, it sounds like. So here I have a slide that contains information that is visible on our public landing page. So you don't need to take a screenshot or anything like that. That is going to be the exact same information that you find on the Amazon BBA landing page. And this just kind of gives you an overview of all of the certifications that we accept for enrollment in BBA. I want to call out that I connected with Danielle ahead of time, and as next steps, what I'll be doing is I'll be sending personalized follow-up emails with everybody that registered, just to let you know, like, here's some tools for you to digest after this to get started with selling on Amazon. And if you want to get the certification right away, you're welcome to do that. And so that's pretty much all of my presentation. So I am going to get the presentation out of presentation mode. Okay, there we go. Oh, can't hear you, Danielle.
I was just talking. Fantastic. All right. So I know that was a great overview, really quick. I appreciate it. Got straight to the point. And so we had several questions that were dropped in the chat that will let me scroll on back to. So Marshall Brooks wants to know, do our products need to have a barcode? Uh-oh, Celeste, I think you cut out there. Celeste, are you there? May have to give Celeste a second. I think she may have froze. Can you all hear her? Is it just me? Somebody drop in the chat and let me know if you can still hear Celeste or if she froze for everyone. All right. So while we wait on Celeste to come back in, we had a couple questions about the recording being available. We will make the recording available to everyone who registered. We are also live right now on Facebook and LinkedIn on the Black Business Boom pages. So feel free to go back and rewind on the recording there as well. But we will send out a recording to everyone who was registered. If you didn't register, then you won't get the recording. What will happen, as Celeste mentioned, is that she will email everyone who registered for the session. She'll just do an introduction email and talk to you and introduce you to an account representative. All right, there's Celeste. There you go. You're back.
Sorry about that.
All right. So we got about quite a few questions actually. And the first one was from Marshall on do products need to have a barcode?
Yeah, great question. So if you have barcodes, that's awesome. That's kind of, I will say, a really fast, seamless way to list your products. But we do offer UPC types of exemptions that help if you don't have that or you don't have access to gaining barcodes. So I would say, if I were trying to list products brand new for the first time on Amazon as a brand owner, I probably would try to get barcodes, but again, not required.
Fantastic. That's good to know. All right. We had another question here from Ashley Cole. And I think we had a couple folks asking about the handmade program and if the handmade program qualifies for the Black Business Accelerator.
Super good question. Yeah, handmade opportunities are kind of like alongside BBAs. It's not the same program, but if you are in the Amazon handmade program and you have the physical product that you want to sell and enroll your business in BBA, that's completely fine. You aren't going to have to pick or choose one or the other.
Wonderful. All right. All right. Tiffany has a question about being limited to selling on Amazon. So she sells through her website and wants to know if it's okay to continue to sell through the website, I'm assuming, and if you can sell on other platforms if you're selling on Amazon.
Yes, I'm so happy this question was asked. Actually, we even encourage it. We want you to be successful everywhere and anywhere you can be successful. There is no exclusivity that we're looking for you to be on Amazon. We really want business owners to succeed. And if that means having presence other places, like please do. So yeah, as a professional seller on Amazon, you are in control of, your pricing, how much inventory you're making available, and where else you're selling.
Wonderful. That is great. All right. Lakeithia had a question about if you are a reseller on Amazon, can you be a part of the accelerator program?
Another amazing question. Wow, these are good ones. Yes,
Yeah,
you
they did their
can.
homework.
They are good questions. Yeah, that is certainly accessible. So you can be a reseller. You can enroll in BBA. One thing that I like to just point out is, when we have resellers on Amazon, there is some like uh, OEM receipts sometimes asked for, just to make sure, like, if you're making a purchase from, some huge supplier and you're uploading your listing, we often ask for that, depending on the category that you're reselling in. It could look a little bit different, but yes, it's absolutely welcome.
Wonderful. All right, moving on along. Keenan Robinson had a question he said he has a seller account already and one product listed, but he needs some help in moving forward. So if there are folks that are already selling on Amazon and having some difficulty, are they able to enroll in the program and get some support?
100% yes. And as a matter of fact, we want you to let us know, like, if you're just having a couple like headaches and roadblocks, but you've got the professional selling account, you've got a product in the works, definitely flag that to me. So when I do follow up in email with everybody, just say, hey, Celeste, like, it's Keenan. I have this ready. This is the product that I have. This is my business name. And I just need help getting past 2 hoops instead of 10, and that's certainly where we want to help. So thank you, Keenan, for raising that. And everybody else that might relate to that, please do just flag that to me when I send an email, so that way I can field that internally correctly.
Wonderful. Love it. All right. We got Antonio Williams who wants to know. He said for a business to qualify, he knows they need their EIN and they have to be registered and have an EIN. Do they have to be an LLC or can they be a sole proprietor or partnership in order to qualify?
Super good question. So yes, the EIN is part of registration when you create your professional selling account. But an LLC is not required. Being a sole proprietor or being a partner, it's up to you kind of how that's set up and desirable. The only kind of piece of also eligibility criteria to be mindful of is the business does need to be 51% or more Black owned. So if at all that kind of is something that you have to figure out, I would say just making sure that your business, if there's like a partnership or something like that involved, that you're gaining the certification and you're able to say, yes, I have 51% Black ownership, or the business is 51% or more Black owned.
Fantastic. That is great. All right. Albert Dow had a question. I think we may have covered this, but is there same assistance available if you're in the handmade program? So you mentioned that you can indeed participate in both.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else did we miss? Did we miss any questions? Oh, here's one from Antonio Williams. We have a t-shirt business with a drop shipping print on demand model with using Printful. Can we link our drop shipping account to Amazon to still fulfill orders, or do we need to seek out different means of having products printed and have Amazon fulfill orders?
Yeah, very good question. So I think that this might even be an opportunity to think about the buy with Prime method of fulfillment, where on your direct to consumer website, there's maybe an add to cart that is fulfilled through the Amazon Prime network. But it kind of comes down to, like, what does that manufacturer have the ability to do? So I wouldn't say like definitely yes or definitely no, because it's really relying on sort of this third party that is fielding some of the like ordering and then where to ship it. And so if you have a relationship with that third party that you think you can say, maybe you even want to grant them some user access to your professional selling account where they can view where the inventory needs to be sent, that could be an option that makes sense for you. But I think without kind of knowing a little bit more in depth, like in, conversation about what the details of this logistical model looks like, I wouldn't say definitely yes or definitely no. It kind of just depends on how that working relationship with that third party is able to pivot.
Now, but to be clear, there is an option. Amazon does have a print on demand option inside of Amazon that may be an option as well. Is that correct?
Kind of, yeah. There are ways to customize your listings if that's kind of what you're looking for. Like you could say to customers, like, please, in this drop down, tell me what you want printed on, say the t-shirts. That's certainly an option.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Can you use Amazon KDP for book publishing to participate in the Black Business Accelerator?
Unfortunately, we do not currently have something for KDP within BBA, but looks like that question came from Jessica. Jessica, I will be in touch and maybe we can figure out something that meets some of your needs in terms of like what you can do to connect with KDP.
Fantastic. I love Amazon KDP. For those that don't know about it, it's fantastic. Definitely makes it easy to get a book or journal or whatever published. All right. Does this program participate in the Amazon Subscribe and Save program?
Great question. So I guess I would phrase that maybe a little bit differently. It's not so much that BBA or subscribe and save participate within each other. I think subscribe and save is an opportunity that you certainly can, as a seller, like learn more about, see if that's something that you want to participate in, and you can pursue that if it meets and fits your goals.
All right, fantastic. All right. And so Sarah wants to know, how do we apply again? And is there a deadline? And so, as mentioned, Celeste, if you did register for this session this evening, then Celeste is going to be reaching out to everyone via email. And Celeste, can you tell us a little bit about what to expect with that email and what would happen after that?
Yeah, definitely. So it's just a really informal email that I'll be sending to everybody that registered. And I'll just be sharing some materials like an overview of BBA and its benefits, as well as asking for you to just respond back to me saying, like, this is your business name and this is what your goals are for your business, what you want to do maybe in the next year. And if you just want to give any background information, that would be super helpful. And then from that point, I'll kind of figure out who on my side and my team has maybe the bandwidth right away to introduce themselves. So that also does not have a deadline. So I would say just to kind of like keep the momentum from this event, it would be great to kind of figure out what we can do as soon as possible. So I should be able to get that email out tonight. I know it's 7 p.m. most people's times though that are in Nashville. So I'm debating if I want to send it in the morning so that way it's not at nighttime for you all.
They entrepreneurs. We work late.
Perfect.
So we had a couple folks say that they've applied a couple of times and they haven't heard back. Is there anything that they should do to follow up, or should they just look out for that email from you?
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate that feedback. That is something I'll let folks on my side know. And if you, so yeah, firstly, yes, look out for an email from me. And then if you can call that out when you respond to me too, just say like, this is the email that I use to sign up in the public landing page, but this is my current state. We can investigate that and figure out like what the gap is.
Really great questions. And then also, is there anyone to help through the certification process?
Yeah, definitely. So that is definitely something that you can work with your account manager with, kind of figuring out which one maybe you want to leverage an existing certification you have. And they can kind of help talk you through like what's needed for each of them. And so, yes. And then also at the end of the day, getting the certification is something that they can't really do for you. And so there's like some support that they can provide, but they can't get the whole thing completed for you.
Absolutely. I know that was one of the hurdles that we talked about when we first talked, Celeste, that a lot of folks really kind of struggle with the certification process back when the pilot was running. So I was really excited to hear that Amazon now helps folks with that and even can help with the fee in some cases. So that was really exciting news. And those
Yeah.
certifications can help you in a lot of different ways. So it's good to have. Let's see. We had someone ask, do you need to already have your LLC, EIN, etc.? I'm going to say yes, but I'll let Celeste answer, answer that.
Yeah, EIN, yes. LLC is not necessarily required if that's just not your business model, but EIN is what is required.
Fantastic. All right, we got a few more questions. Were coming in quick. So someone said, we talked about physical products, but just to be clear, does that exclude downloadable ebooks and audiobooks?
It does. It does. So physical products, like anything that you would potentially ship into a fulfillment center, would be eligible. Unfortunately, it does exclude digital content.
All righty. How many products do you believe a brand should start with on Amazon?
Such a good question. And I just want to start by saying there's no right or wrong. I think that you can be extremely successful with one product and you can be an extremely successful entrepreneur with several. I think when you're deciding that, thinking about what you think is attainable for you, like what do you imagine you could sustain? Do you want to fulfill 100 different items, or would it be easier for like your own sanity even to have one or two different items that you just want to have some uniqueness in those two, but not necessarily like every color option under the sun? Because I think that in some product families is desirable and in others it doesn't need to be that way.
All right. Couple really good questions. Does Amazon have a specific marker to designate that you're purchasing from a Black owned business?
We
I've
do
seen
have
it. So,
yeah, we do. And I also would call out that you can request to have it or not have it. Not every Black owned business wants that on their pages. So we like to honor and respect that. So we've got it, but you also don't need to have it.
love it. And Camille asks, if you sell on Amazon, are we able to have a landing page or personalized storefront on Amazon?
Super good question. So the term that I am going to kind of summarize what that is on Amazon is called the brand store. And that's something that you can create. It's quickestly, what's the right word? It's the most readily accessible if you have a trademark, like a USPTO trademark, and you are able to kind of sync up your USPTO trademark to brand registry. That will just kind of expedite the whole process of building this tool out for you. But for BBA, we do have a benefit that supports creating content if you do not yet have a USPTO trademark, because we know that that can take a lot of time sometimes. So I love that. We've got A+ content and brand stores in particular that lets you get creative with how you represent your product and story on Amazon. And I often like to describe it as kind of like having a commercial that you would scroll, like a scrollable commercial on your stores.
All right, love it. We got a lot of more questions, but I'm gonna try to breeze through. We got about 20 minutes, but I'm gonna try to breeze through some of these questions because some of them are really good.
Yeah.
We had a couple questions about perishable products and food. Can folks that sell food products participate in the program or sell on Amazon in
Yeah.
general?
So, as an overarching answer, yes, I would definitely invest in good packaging that doesn't allow the product to maybe get really tossed around within the box that it's in. Um, I would also think about like what kind of weather conditions and how far maybe you're able to ship. Like maybe you don't want to ship to all 50 states. Maybe there's limitations you want to put in place, and that is customizable within Seller Central. Um, when it comes to perishables and prime fulfillment, that's another question to ask yourself. Is this something that can sit for 90 days or more? Or is this something that as the orders are placed, it's actually better as a business owner for me to send it direct to the consumer after processing orders that I get through Amazon? So you're not required to utilize Prime. I just want to put that out there. Prime's awesome and it helps, a lot of levers like discoverability. And when people search Prime only offers, you make it past that filter. But there are tons of sellers. I mean, so many products on Amazon that were never in Prime and they're wildly successful and demanded. So just thinking about like the conditions that you want your product.
Oh, you froze, Celeste. Maybe I'll shoot her a quick message and let her know. All right, I'm going to go back to these comments though while we wait on Celeste to unfreeze or rejoin. Marshall, I'll make sure I grab your question about the cost for the program, about SAM certification. Another great question. Let's see, we had a Nicole with a question around minimum revenue that I'll make sure we get in as well. Liam, we're gonna make sure we get you connected because I see you apply for a few times, so I'll make sure that you get connected as well. Loyal, your question about financial disclosure requirements, we'll make sure we get to that one as well. Lisa, your question about stockpiling or pre-shipping a certain amount. I don't think you do, but I will let Celeste give confirmation on that for sure. We had a question about the easiest way to certify. And so there is a certification available through this program that is a lot easier than some of the certifications, like the NMSDC process that you may go through to get minority certified, or even the DBE certification process. There's Celeste, you're back. All right. So I told them there were a few questions I wanted to make sure we got in before we wrapped up. Marshall Brooks wants to know if there's a cost for the program.
Yeah, really great question. So there is, with signing up for a professional selling account, a $39.99 monthly fee to utilize the Seller Central platform. I do want to point out too that we have the $500 credit that is given to anybody that enrolls in the program. So if you were to have a certification and get the professional selling account registered, it will charge you the $39.99. But once you upload that certificate, you would get that $500 credit. And, there's also kind of the two-way, what we call at Amazon, a two-way door decision, meaning like you can opt out of the $39.99 if you decide this isn't maybe the best time for you. Sometimes people do that. Sometimes they want to go on a 3-month long vacation, and so then they just bump their account down to individual status, and that avoids incurring the $39.99. So there's some flexibility if you want to hit the ground running and go all in when you sign up for the professional selling account, but you're also able to downgrade and not pay that fee when you do that.
Wonderful. And also, Lisa wanted to know about if she needed to stockpile or pre-ship a certain amount of products.
Great question. So there's not a minimum amount of inventory that you have to have available ever, or send to Prime fulfillment centers. I would say, thinking about the demand that you have off of Amazon is something, of course, to consider when you're thinking about how much you want to reserve for Amazon, as new customers and former customers on your D2C or other platforms discover you on Amazon. But there's no minimum.
Wonderful. Is there a minimum revenue required to apply and participate in the Black Business Accelerator?
Nope. Really great question. You could indicate, if you come to us on our selling or public seller central form, and say, since we do ask how much revenue have you made in the past, I think 12 months, there's an option to say like less than 5,000, and also an option to say that you don't wish to disclose. That's totally fine. We ask those questions just to have an understanding of where you're at. It's not something that we're saying like, oh, this is disqualifying information. It's just to help us understand, okay, this person let us know that they make this amount. Okay, they have maybe some e-commerce familiarity. Like, those are the kinds of things that we're thinking about when we see that.
Love it. We had a couple of folks asking if they didn't register, how do they get information? And so I just dropped a link in the chat. It is blackbusinessboom.com/Amazon interest. Is slowly being, there we go. All right, it went now. So if you can't see it in the chat, again, it's blackbusinessboom.com/Amazon interest. And so if you did not register for the webinar this evening, if you fill out that form, I will make sure I get your information over to Celeste. Couple more questions before we wrap up this evening. I think we kind of got this one. If you're already selling on Amazon, can you participate? Let's see. Yep. And then Marshall, can you tell me about the certification? So there is a certification that you all accept that's fairly affordable compared to some of the others. Can you tell us a little bit about that certification?
Yeah, definitely. So we have a few, and I think that what there is there's SAM.gov, and that is free. There's Supplier Gateway, and there is a subsidized fee for that BBA provides. And then there's SBA. I don't know off the top of my head if there's a fee on that one at present. Apologies there. And then we also have NMSCC that's acceptable.
Wonderful. All right. Someone with a body product business, KP, wants to know if there are certain requirements for body products, I think as it relates to preservatives and shelf life.
Got it. I think maybe understanding more in depth about the ingredients, that could be something that, as you are like figuring out how to apply for that category, you would include that information. I'm thinking it sounds like it could be in the beauty category, in which we, have certain guidelines and category applications that you would want to fill out. So without knowing exactly what it includes, I couldn't say definitely yes or definitely no, but that would be part of like the category approvals.
So, and then we got a lot of other questions that get kind of technical. I'm gonna try to get to a few more of them, but just to reiterate, Celeste will reach out to everyone who either registered this evening or fills out the form on the Black Business Boom page that I just dropped in the chat. And so from there, Celeste will help to connect you with someone on the Amazon team. And so I think that will be a good opportunity for some of these questions that get a little bit more technical, but we'll see. Joseph Bond wants to know what the fulfillment costs per each by Amazon when you send in one pallet, and what is the weight per pallet? So
Yeah,
that's pretty
great
technical.
question. Yeah, so the fulfillment costs are based off of dimensions and weight. One pallet is, it sounds like a lot of product. And I will say, when you're brand new to selling on Amazon, sometimes starting out with small parcels is one way to kind of test and learn versus sending in an entire pallet when you're brand new to Amazon. If you know, in some time you realize you do need to feel good about your inventory position by sending in a pallet's worth, like more power to you. But when you're starting out and figuring out what your demand is, you might consider small parcel shipment.
Fantastic. All righty. I'm going to grab two more questions and then we'll go ahead and wrap on up. And so I think we may have gotten this one already. Does this include existing drop shipping stores? So if you're already drop shipping through Amazon, on Amazon, can you participate in the accelerator program?
It I think it might depend on, I guess, what the existing business looks like what type of product, because I don't want to say like without knowing what the business type is, that specific one might be product types that are eligible for BBA. But yeah, if it's a product that is physical and you have a business that is 51% Black owned, absolutely.
All righty. And let's see. So I don't know if she can answer this question, but we'll ask. All right. Darlene Turner, she says she's been a part of the hospitality industry for 20 plus years and own a baking and catering company. How successful in the past have homemade cakes and catering services been on Amazon?
Yeah, great question. So I would say, thinking about I guess, the type of packaging that you would want and need to preserve the cake is something that if you think that you can ship the cake in a box with some packaging that would preserve its overall customer unboxing um, and experience in general, definitely think about trying to do that. But if you would be concerned, if it is kind of fragile and might crumble, that certainly is something that customers are not happy with. They don't like to receive something that has been tossed around very clearly in packaging, and sometimes that can be a challenge. So I have lost the name of the person that asked that question
Darlene.
originally. Darlene.
Hmm.
Okay, got it. Darlene. So yeah, I think maybe Darlene, you might know best about like, do you feel comfortable sending a full cake that you might ship across the country, or maybe you want to limit shipments to more local states? That's something to consider. Also, sometimes snack-sized versions are what people might stick to. So instead of sending like a whole cake, something that might be like a snack size version can kind of help when considering how you could ship your product, but not risk as much product quality and potential damages.
Makes perfect sense. All right. This was a lot of great information. Really, really exciting stuff. Again, if you have registered for this evening, then Celeste will be shooting you an email sometime within the next 24 hours. If not, I did drop a link in the chat for you to show your interest. There's a quick form there. And if you fill out that form, then I'll get your information directed over to Celeste, who can then take it from there. She'll reach out via email with an introduction. Make sure you reply to the email. If you don't think it's a good fit, just tell her I don't think it's a good fit right now. One last quick question. Does Amazon help at all with creating products with folks that have ideas and things that they want to create and then fulfill on Amazon?
Really good question. You know, you're always welcome to let us know that you're not ready to sell a product. But we do provide a little bit of guidance of like, what do you have accessible to you? Like, what do you want to accomplish? But we wouldn't ever be like, this is what you should do. You know, this is the product that you should develop. That's definitely up to each business owner to kind of figure out what is the right balance of what's accessible and something that they are excited about selling on Amazon. So yeah, you're certainly welcome to come to us and say that. But we aren't going to be like, this is the next big thing that you should start doing. We'll have a conversation about that.
Wonderful. Love it. Again, really, really great information. Lots of amazing questions from the folks that tuned in this evening. Look out for an email over the next 24 hours from Celeste. Please let us know at the Black Business Boom team if there's anything that we can help with as well. I'm really excited to see all of the Black business owners that tuned in this evening, and we're excited to get you connected with the Amazon Black Business Accelerator to take advantage of all these amazing benefits. Make sure you catch the replay. If you're listening live on social media right now, go ahead and rewind and catch the replay and let me know when you're catching the replay. Drop replay in the comments for us. Make sure you tag a business owner that has a product-based business if they miss this, and tell them to catch up and see all these amazing benefits that Amazon is offering for Black business owners. And again, if you did register for this session, look out for an email from Celeste as well as an email with the recording from the Black Business Boom team. Thank you so much, Celeste. I appreciate you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Danielle, so much for giving me this time. It's been such a pleasure engaging with such good questions and everybody attending.
Yes. All right. You all have a wonderful evening. And thanks again for tuning in this evening. Have a great